What do you do within Cogitamus? What are your basic fields of work and why you do it?
Well, basically on my visiting card is written consulting, training and coaching. And this order is also what I think is what I'm doing. I understand myself in the first hand as a consultant and not only somebody who is doing concepts but helps to implement certain solutions or certain approaches, certain concepts, because I think this is always the proof of the pudding. If you really can do something that you have thought through together with a client, that you can also implement that and that it really fits in that environment, in this sector, in this company, into this culture, that is important for me. And only to have a concept that you could do if you had the right people and if the world would be okay, that is nice, but there are other consultants who do it this way. My intention is to really help to implement, which is in many cases, in particular in the German Mittelstand, this is a real challenge for most companies. And I want to be a partner, a trusted advisor and partner in implementation.
And thinking together like Cogitamus.
And of course, basically the consultant has to bring something to the table. The company has all the knowledge about their products, their people, their sector and so. And we try to bring that together and really we struggle and we try to discover the right solution for the problem at hand. And that is what is fun for me, what usually brings the most for the client. And so we have a complementary approach, not just smart people coming from outside, but the smartness of all. Collective intelligence is another word for that. And this is an approach I like very much.
And this is what you did in the field of consultancy. You said you also do trainings?
Yes.
What kind of trainings do you do?
Well, basically two different kinds. Trainings for all my topics. I'm working in strategy and leadership. I do transformational work. I do some work for innovation and organizational work, learning organizational work. And in these areas, of course, you have some material. And in some cases, it's good to give some impulses to people to start with a certain training, to give them an idea what it could be to go for a transformation journey. And what it also means, which kind of instruments you have to use, where you have to look for instance, for the communication, how to deal with all the different stakeholders. These are aspects I'm trying to reveal in trainings, and then they can decide, is that an approach, is that a style that fits to their own understanding, to their culture, and that could be a start for a further journey. That's one part of the training. On the other hand, my social business is also doing training or lecturing at universities. So I'm working with different universities, national and international, on management topics, global international business. On the other topics I'm also doing in consultancy. And the good thing for me is I always have to be up to date. I always have to deal with my own approaches, and I have to question them from year to year, whether that is still up to date, whether I have to incorporate some aspects, whether I've learned something from my consultancy work and put that into my lecturing, my teaching.
So what would you say do you learn from your students in universities? I could imagine that they really challenge you in your series.
That's true. The time I'm doing that is now 4 or 5 years. I'm lecturing in universities, and I can see that many of those, they have traveled the world, they have been abroad for half a year and even more. They lived outside of Germany, and by this they also have a very informed view back to our country, to our economy. They ask a lot of questions. And those questions, they always challenge me. And many of them, they're in international universities like Karlsruhe, Karlshochschule, or Alanus Hochschule in Bonn, or Steinbeis Hochschule. They are most in practice, so they know something of the real work life. And many of them, they are international. They come from Brazil, from Russia, from Denmark, from Ukraine, and all these different parts of the world, China. And that is very interesting for me, to have these people talk to each other and discuss certain issues with me, and in group work and teamwork. And that brings many more aspects to the questions than I had discussed when I was at university. That was much more national and a little bit more narrow-minded. That's what I like very much. I learn most probably as much as the students learn during these sessions.
So you think together.
And it keeps you young, of course.